Good morning, students. Today we are going to go along with our new chapter, which is chapter number 6, and it is regarding to the democratic government. In this chapter, we are going to learn about various important aspects as to what is the meaning of a democratic form of government, how it is followed, in what structure it is followed, and what is the form or situation or hierarchy of this government system which goes on along with it judicial systems and other form of practices in their day-to-day activities. Now, this democratic form of government, to understand this, first we'll have to basically know about what government is. As you have all studied in our previous chapter also, government is that form of body which takes care about the laws, rules and regulations. And there are certain important roles that the government has to follow. Few of the basic things are here as it has been pointed out here. Now, the role of government. What is the role of government? First of all, they have to see that the laws, rules, regulations that are being made, it is fair law. It is not discriminating anyone or sidelining anyone's benefit or privileges or rights. That is the responsibility of the government. Not only that, it is also to be remembered by the government that they should follow the directive principle of state policy as it is mentioned in the Constitution of India. The next is about law implementations properly. Whatever law has been made, it has to be procedurally maintained and it has to be properly implemented in each and every part of Indian territory. And that procedure, that system has to be decided, or the decision has to be taken by the government, which is a very important part or role of the government. The third is interpretation of law and settlement of disputes. Now, what is this term means, interpretation? In simple words, the word interpretation, you can say explanation or giving a correct meaning of what this law is stating. Stating about if anything is written in the law, it is the government's responsibility to properly state as to what the law states, what is the actual meaning of the law, how it has to be understood, and what under that circumstances, under that understanding, what they need to do following the rules, regulations of the government system that has been implemented. Now, this interpretation of law, as we have already known or studied, that the government as a main body has been divided into three important organs: legislative, executive and judiciary. Now, this interpretation of law is being mostly done by the judiciary department, which is indirectly you can call it as the courts or the law system, which is the regulator of the law system, that is the court system that interprets the law that is made up by our country. And settlement of all these important dispute that arises between the citizens or outsiders or within any kind of institutions, those disputes has to be settled in a fair and in a proper manner. Now, under these circumstances, under these roles, responsibilities, there are various basics things that are being structured, which brings about a whole system of government. And a democratic form of government is a totally different practice of government, and most of the countries find a democratic form of government and practice democratic form of government into the day-to-day activities of running their own nations in a proper way. So, the role of government, as we have known here, that is fair implementation or fair opportunity as chances of laws to be implemented for everyone, and to see that the directive principle of state policy is being followed. The next, the law should be implemented in proper way. There should be no unfair means between any of the people, or there should be no discrimination regarding to the implementation of law. And interpretation is to explain or define or to state the meaning of law and settle the dispute in a proper way. Now, on these circumstances, India is also one of the countries which follows the democratic form of government. Now, as we all know, that India consists of 29 states and 7 important union territories as a whole. And these 29 states and 7 union territories are being run and regulated by two important body of government, which is known as the central government and the state government. Now, their responsibilities, you can say it that the responsibilities and powers are divided, but at the same time they are equalized in various important aspects in different functionings, that we are going to learn about how it is different but also in some way same. And on the other hand, the system of government, the division of government, or the rule or systematically dividing the powers and functions of the government is done by a adaptation of a system which is known as the federal structure. Now, what is this? What is the meaning of federal structure? The word federal structure means this federal structural word is been adopted from some other constitutional system or country, where federal system states that there are certain powers, important powers, that are being divided between various individual organs or the part of the government. Either it is some of the functions, important functions are given to the central government, who takes care of the whole nation, and the state government is the units of the state, of the country, whole nation, small part or the small unit of the whole nations. Individually many states are there in India, so these states are being governed by the state government. Okay, now on this basis, the federal structure, now we have to understand what is federal structure. Now here, what do you mean by federal structure of government? Now this federal structure of government is a system, as I told you, where powers are divided to different part of the government system, the central government and the state government. But there is one more part of powers that are being enjoyed by both of these central as well as the state government. So according to this, the federal structure system, the powers are divided into three important forms, or you can see it as lists. One is known as the central list, the second one is known as the state list, and the third one is known as the concurrent list. First one is the central list, then the state list, then the concurrent list. Now, in central list, you can say those important things which are related to the nation, or which are important aspects of which covers the whole nation. Like for example, defense, matters related to defense, matter related to national security, then matter related to finance. These are all important aspects. There are few others too. These are few of the important aspects which are related to the whole of the nations, and that comes under central list, which that means what? It is the power of the central government to take care of all these important aspects. Now the state list, if you see, these are some of the things which are related to individual states. Accordingly. Now as I told you, we have 29 states and 7 union territories, according to which State list comes under the individual states. And what does it cover? Most probably education related issues, agriculture related issues, then police system or the law and order system within the state, but only police system comes under the state government. And the third one is known as the concurrent list, where both, now this is different. As I told you, central and state list are two important aspects, but there is a third aspect which is known as the concurrent list. In this, both the central government and the state government, they work together. The central government and the state government, they work together to solve certain important things which are related to both of them. Now, some of the things I can explain you as electricity issues, then development of factories, then education, and so on. So there are certain important aspects which are also related to these important things. Now, according to this, as we have discussed here, federal structure means what? State list, the powers divided into three important parts. One is the central list, then the state list, and the concurrent list. In the state list, it covers all the matters which is related to the nation. Then the state list, all the matters which is related to the individual states. Excuse me. Then the concurrent list, which is related to the matters both to the central government and the state government, where national security, defense, financial matters are all covered under the central list. State list, individual states facing certain various important functions or important things which is controlled by the central government, state government, are education, agriculture, police system, and etc. The third one is related to concurrent list, which is in which both the central government and the state government, they work together and try to solve problems which are faced by both of them and try to get it overdone or try to overcome it, which is in regarding to electricity, factories, and education, and some of the other things. So this is how the federal structure under democratic government system in India it functions, where the powers have been divided into three important parts, and each of the three individual have their own individual responsibilities to act upon according to their own criterias or territorial, you can say it as territorial powers that have been given to them, and functions accordingly for the benefit of the people. So in continuation, in the next class we are going to study about the legislature system of government, how legislature system works, which is in regarding to the parliamentary system, which we will talk about the Lok Sabha, the importance of Rajya Sabha, and other systems of parliamentary form. So this is all for today. Hope we are doing well and keeping all well in this particular pandemic period, and hope we overcome this situation very soon. Thank you very much.